walk back here sometimes to avoid the people. It's really nice back here because it's really quiet, you know? This is full of Indian burial mounds, and you can see one of them right there. I don't know if I'm pointing in the right spot, but well, my battery died, so I just had to run all the way back to my house and go grab another battery. I like it back here because it gives me some peace and quiet. I can't really record at home. Sorry, I'm still out of breath because I'm a lazy piece of shit and I don't work out. This is where I was shooting my bow. That's where I shot them at. And down there, over this landing here, is where I wanted to live. Yes, I said live. Because I'm not afraid of living in the woods. This is where I set up a tent, but it looks like a bunch of people came back here and destroyed it. That's where my fire pit was. Now there's a bunch of plastic and shit. How fun. I'll be honest, my camera's not the best. Neither is my face. But, you know, you get what you get. I need somewhere to prop the camera. This probably isn't the smartest place to put it. But hey, anything works, right? So I decided to come out here, you know, enjoy the nature a little bit, talk to my camera like a weirdo. I said in my last video, my first video, I guess, that I have been doing kind of shitty and that I wanted to like come on here and spread some positivity and shit. Well, I'm not really capable of spreading any positivity right now because I'm kind of going through a lot of shit of my own. And yeah, I'm gonna get right into it because why not? Nobody really watches my channel anyway, so I don't even know where to begin, honestly. Right, so around November I got this like depression episode and it turned into insomnia and like not eating or overeating, you know, just all kind of unhealthy habits. And I don't know, I just wasn't fucking sleeping, or I was sleeping way too much. I would be like up for 40 hours and then sleep for like 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours. It was just bad, and now I'm back to sleeping too much. And part of why I haven't been posting really is because not only are people like inside all the time, but I'm also just too depressed to really talk about myself. But I think talking about it is gonna help me, so talking about it. I lost 20 pounds since I started my YouTube channel again, and that's not good. I'm like on the scale constantly, and you know, I before I didn't really care about my weight because I just wanted to work out and be healthy, and I thought it was so stupid starving yourself, because like what a dumb thing, starving yourself, like it's so unhealthy. But now I don't really care, and I don't eat anything ever, and sometimes like when I crave food, I'll eat a bunch of food, but I won't swallow it. I'll just spit it out like in a napkin, or I'll spit it out in a trash can. And it's just forming some really unhealthy habits, and I'm kind of disgusted at myself because it's kind of a really disturbing thing to do, to like eat a bunch of nasty greasy food and spit it out in a trash can. Like, how gross. Nature annoys me sometimes, you know? I don't know. I'm 20 years old and I'm self-harming again. I haven't done self-harm since I was 14 years old, and it gives me like a really shitty feeling to know that I actually relapsed. You know, relapsing can consist of a lot of things. Like, it can consist of drugs, it can consist of going back to unhealthy behaviors, and in that case, it's me. Yeah, so just the thought of relapsing is just, it's got me feeling really shitty inside, because not only am I not eating, that's a form of self-harm, but I also burned my arm and my leg, and I cut up my stomach a little bit, and it's really shitty to admit that, because I didn't really want that for my channel. I wanted to come on here and show everybody that, you know, I used to be this way, but here I am recovering, and I'm doing a lot better and improving in my life. But actually, the second I made my YouTube channel, it was like it fucking jinxed me, and now I'm doing worse than I was, and it sucks. Every single day that I wake up, every single day that I wake up, it's a different day. I mean, I know it is really a different day for everybody, because it actually is a different day, but no, for me, it really is a different day. I don't know who I'm gonna be, or what kind of fucking mood I'm gonna be in. It's always rolling the dice. It's always a guessing game. I don't know. It just really sucks being... I've been thinking a lot about suicide lately. Again, it really sucks to admit that, but it's true. Specifically, back in these woods, I just have thought a lot about shooting myself in the head, and it's kind of crazy because I have these really vivid visuals about me actually doing it, and I can't explain how realistic it is. Like, I feel like I'm actually in the moment and I'm living it. I'm there. I can feel my last breath. I can taste the blood in my throat before the DMT hits, and that's it, and I'm dead. You know, it's actually really crazy to talk about it, because it's like really fucking dark. So I wanted to read a few poems that I wrote recently, and one of them is about the reason why I burned my arm, and I'm gonna show it to you. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, I've been getting a lot of shit for it. It really sucks getting degraded for my self-harm. I'm sure some of you know, you've got scars or cuts, fresh cuts on your arm, and people are judging you, your family, your friends, people at school, whatever, and they're making you feel like shit because you feel like shit about yourself, you know. To me, how I see it, at least I'm not out doing fucking drugs. You know, it just really fucking sucks when people degrade you for feeling like shit and hurting yourself. So, first I want to talk about my sister, who is quite literally the worst human being on this planet. She saw my leg, which I don't know if I can even show this to you because of the fucking angle, and I'm not flexible. I was wearing capris like this around her, and I wasn't thinking about it. She saw it and basically flipped a fucking lid and said, "Get out of my car," and walked home and all this shit. Then she said, "No wonder why you're always wearing long sleeves around me. I wonder what's under that sleeve of yours." Here I am trying not to lose my fucking shit because she just told me to walk home and then locked her fucking doors. You know, when she said all that stuff to me, the entire car ride, she was just basically degrading me about the scars on my arm and my leg, and you know, I was sitting in the car completely calm. I wasn't saying anything to her back. I wasn't being a cunt or anything. She was just making me feel like shit, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, just keep going, make me feel worse, because that's gonna make things better. So here I am, 20 years old. She looks at me like I'm a fucking 13-year-old girl again because I'm emo and cutting myself and I'm a fucking retard. Yeah. A piece of shit I am for hurting myself. So there's that story. The reason why my arm and my leg is because it's actually a really long story. When I first got with Jerry, I was with him for 4 years. I got with him when I was 15 years old, and he was 19, so, you know, we weren't really allowed to be together. It was kind of a secretive thing. We were sneaking around and shit. And, you know, I was in school. He obviously wasn't in school. He had a car, and he, like, drove me around and shit, so... Me being the rebellious 14-year-old that I am, it was a pretty awesome relationship. I'm with an older man who has a car, and, yeah. There were a lot of downsides to that relationship. A lot of shitty things happened in that relationship, as I'm sure that you could assume. But it taught me a lot of interesting life lessons, and I am the way that I am because of that relationship, and I am grateful for it because I wouldn't be the person that I am today had I not been in that relationship. But, like I said, a lot of shitty things came along with it, and his brother Dave was with this girl Kaylee. At the time, they had a daughter together, and her name was Ava. They're both heroin addicts. She was pregnant at the time with another baby. Fast forward time a little bit, not too much, maybe a couple months. She has the kid, and now she can do whatever the fuck she wants. She had the kid, so now she's gonna go out and do more heroin. So, they leave the kids in the car for hours at a time. You know, this newborn fucking baby and this 1-year-old girl, just sitting in the car in their dirty diapers, starving to death, you know, not having any fucking milk or anything all day. God knows how long they're out trying to score some dope. And not only are they out trying to score some dope, but they have no fucking money. So they have to go out and sit on a corner, you know, sometimes hold their baby and say that they're homeless, and people have sympathy for them, so they give them money and shit. They did a lot of really shitty things with those kids. They would bring Ava over to our house, and we'd watch her and take care of her and stuff while they were out trying to get some heroin. And every time that she would come over, she was skin and bones. She wouldn't have any clothes with her. She wouldn't have any diapers or anything. She was always stinky, like she smelled like her own waste. She was always hungry, and you know, I didn't have any money at the time either, so I couldn't exactly go out and get her those things, because, I mean, they fucking should have had those things and left those things with us, but we gave her what we had, and I gave her some of my clothes, like I gave her some fucking shorts and had to tie them on her, and, you know, I gave her baths and made her happy, because she was such a sad little girl. You know, she came over and she missed mommy and daddy, but she didn't miss mommy and daddy because mommy and daddy neglected her. I have a lot of bad memories from that. It's just a really shitty situation. So whenever Ava got to come over, I was really happy because I could make the little girl happy. And even though I couldn't make the boy happy, that was the newborn baby, at least I can make Ava happy. Fast forward time, there've been a couple times when we were at her house, they said, we'll be right back, and they wouldn't come home for hours and hours. Her kid's fucking hungry, she's tired, they fucking come home at like 4 o'clock in the morning or some shit, and they're strung out, and, you know, the other baby's in a full-ass diaper, and it's just awful. The fucking situation was so awful. They were doing dope on the freeway, they got pulled over, 2 kids in the back seat, and they got taken to jail. Since Ava was Kaylee's, not Dave's, she got taken into custody, but since Bentley was Dave's, he went to the grandparents down the street. So Bentley was fine, but Ava got taken into custody of the state, which I guess is a good thing. You know, what's best for the kid is what's best for the kid, so I was okay with it. I accepted the fact that I'd never see her again, and I didn't. Anyway, it's been about 2 or 3 years since I last saw her. I was told by Dave not long ago that she was coming over and that I'd be able to see her again, at least one last time. Well, I hadn't heard anything for weeks after that, and one day Jerry and I were pretty drunk, And I said, so whatever happened with Ava? And he said it like it was no big deal to him. And he was like, oh yeah, she never came over. I was like, what? Well, is she ever gonna come over? And he said, nope. I was like, well, what the fuck? And he said, well, the parents came over and saw Dave, and, you know, they knew about everything that he did, but he went into depth about it and told them everything, and told them all the really shitty things that he actually did to them. And they basically said, you know, we don't really want her around that. We don't want her around this family, so bye. And, Jerry was pretty insensitive about it when he told me, and I was also drunk at the time. Actually, honestly, I don't even think I asked about it. I think he was the one who brought it up, which is why I think I felt so shitty about it. I don't remember, I was pretty drunk. And since I was vulnerable and he told me in a really shitty way about that, I responded in a really shitty way. And, you know, after he said that, he was like laughing, he was in a good mood, everything was fine. And me, I was crying and just staring out the window. And he didn't really seem to care, or didn't really know that there was anything wrong with me. And when we got home, he just started cleaning up the kitchen, and I went back to my room and locked my door and was just screaming and crying. He was out in the kitchen blaring music, so that was like the perfect time for me to do something stupid. And you know, my mind wasn't really working, and that was the first time I actually physically hurt myself in a long time. So I felt great about it afterwards, but then I kind of felt like shit that I did that, because I hadn't done that in such a long time. But I don't know, even now I'm still kind of happy that I did it. So, I mean, that kind of sucks that I am happy that I did that, because I might end up doing it again, because that's just what happens. And it did. I think it was a couple weeks ago, actually. I was looking at how fat I am in the mirror, and I just took my knife to my hip bones and just started slicing them up. And I don't really know why I did it. I was feeling really... I think I know why I did it. Because I'm only alive right now because everyone keeps telling me you can't kill yourself because of what it'll do to everyone around you. And that's true. My mom has cancer. She just went through a really shitty year last year. We lost 2 pets that year, 2 important family pets, and, you know, the family kind of went through a hard time. We also just lost a cousin, so doing that right now would be a really awful thing for me to do. So, it's just really frustrating because I can't really be that selfish. So I have to stay here for other people. But what really sucks is, like, people like my sister who respond with anger. And, like, when I tell them I want to kill myself and they tell me I'm a fucking idiot, it's just really hard. I think I mentioned everything that I needed to mention, and I think I can go ahead and start reading my poems now. But I'm gonna have to do this in a separate take.